Hey there YouTubers, how are you all doing today? I'm doing well, thank you for asking. So instead of ranting about a YouTuber that I do not like in particular, today I'm going to be telling you all a story about the time I went to the bowling alley when I was 11 years old. So here's how it all starts. My father's three coworkers, actually, sorry for the mistake, they call my father up. They're all bringing their kids to the bowling alley. They call my dad up, they're like, hey, you want to come to the bowling alley with us? And then yeah, they also mentioned, we're bringing our kids too. So then my dad was like, oh, sweet. I think I can bring Aaron too. Hey, Aaron, you want to come to the bowling alley with me? And I was like, sure, Dad, let's go. And he's like, all right, son, we're going to go to the bowling alley. 5 minutes later, 5 or 10 minutes later, actually, we arrive at the bowling alley. We go to the front desk. We discuss hourly charges, and then they assign us a lane. It was like all the way to the closest second to the right. It was like out of 30 lanes, we were at lane 28. So I was like, wow, that's actually a pretty good spot. So then we go to the desk the desk of the shoe area. We had to rent out shoes because they won't let us use our shoes. That's how they make more money. So it's pretty much like this. Hourly charge plus a small fee because you're wearing shoes. It's like you're required to wear those particular bowling shoes. So technically, it's not a rental charge. It's more of a fee. It's like you're required to pay it. After our shoes, we had to look for bowling balls. And back then when I was 11 years old, I was a pretty chubby kid. And even though my arms were like plump, they weren't really plump. They were like about this size. I still couldn't pick up that dang bowling ball. It was still really heavy. So I had to look for one with small finger holes because my fingers were really small. And a light ball in general. It was like size 9. And the one I picked up that was really heavy with the big finger holes, that was like a 13. So I had to look for the 9, right? And then I see it. The size 9, that really good looking ball. I just have to use it. It's perfect. It says Aaron all over it. It was a black ball with orange flames on it. It just looked really sick. I just had to use it. And then what I didn't know is that the ball was in the ball return that someone was using. Some stranger that I had no idea was using the ball. She was using the ball with the flames on it. So I take the ball, not knowing that it was her ball, and then behind me I hear a voice. Well, I kind of hear footsteps initially. So I turn around, I look at the lady, I look up because I was short at the time, and she says, "Excuse me, can you please not touch my ball?" I was like, all right, sorry, and I just walked away. It was pretty rude. It was a pretty rude gesture and a pretty rude sentence in general. Who walks up to an 11-year-old kid? And that too, the lady was an adult. She should have known better. She was at least 35 or 40 years old. She should have known better. She just walks up to an 11-year-old kid and says, "Excuse me, can you please not touch my ball?" You know, there's a nicer way to say it. I mean, I'm not offended at what you said. I'm just offended at the way you said it. You should have said it a lot more nicely. And then I tell my father exactly what the lady said. When my father asked me, what's wrong, why don't you have a ball? I tell him what the lady told me. And then my father gets pissed off. He was like, oh. He didn't want to, I mean, of course he didn't confront the lady. Not that he didn't want to, he just didn't want to cause a big scene. He told his coworker. His coworker got pissed off too. She was like, oh, why would she say that to him? And she felt sympathy for me. I actually felt happy that everyone was feeling sympathy for me because this lady, she was being such an ass to me. There's a nicer way to say it. You don't have to go up to a kid and say those exact words. At least say it in a nicer tone or change the words up. Your word choice and your the way you said that whole sentence was very poor. And I got it seriously though. You should know better though, lady. You're an adult. You should be saying things a lot more nicely if I were you. If I were you, I probably wouldn't have said that. I would have said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, but this is my ball." I would have said it like that, nicely though. I wouldn't say, "Can you please not touch my ball?" That's not something you say to an 11-year-old boy. I would say, "Excuse me, that's my ball. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding." You know, something like that. And then it would have been nicer. It wouldn't have been a negative outcome. But I was upset for like 5 minutes because of the way this lady spoke to me. But then afterwards I cooled off a little bit. had fun playing bowling, and then my dad and I, we went home. And oh man, it was just not a good night because I told my mom to. She wasn't very happy, but then she cooled off too. I don't know. It's just some people are just so rude. They need to learn good manners. Some of them, they're messed up in the head. Anyways, it just comes to show certain people are unprincipled human beings, and we just have to deal with it. That's just how we have to. It's not like they're gonna stop our world from going round. It's just one minor incident. We have to move on, and I already have. I just wanted to tell you all the story about the time this lady sort of ruined my experience at this bowling alley. So that's it for that lady. Lady, you're cut out of my life. Screw you, and I hope you learn how to talk properly to little boys and little girls too. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this story, well, watching this video, and listening to my story. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll tell you all more stories soon. I enjoy telling you all stories. Let me know if you enjoyed the story, if you want me to continue telling more to all you people, sharing more of my life stories with you all. And I'll gladly do it. I'll gladly do it without hesitation. Anyways, guys, that's it. Take care and have a good day. And remember, please stay safe.